Romance in Starsand Island is about more than just getting closer to your favorite character. As your affection grows, the game gradually opens up more ways to interact with them, and some of these features are surprisingly easy to overlook. You can receive gifts, take photos together, visit their rooms, send them requests, and eventually even invite them to move in. So there's quite a bit more to the system than I initially expected. In this guide, I'll walk you through how affection works, some of the easier gifts you can give, and what you'll unlock as your relationships grow. And just a quick heads up before we start. Since this is a romance guide, there will be some minor spoilers. I'll keep them as out of context as possible, but if you'd rather discover everything on your own, this is your little warning before we jump in. Let's start with the fun part. What actually changes as your relationships get stronger? Starsand Island gradually gives you more ways to interact with the islanders as your affection level goes up. Here's what you can expect. At 1 heart, you can start receiving gifts from the characters. Now, I'm not completely sure if this is a bug or just how the system works, but I've actually received gifts from some characters even at 0 hearts. So, it might mean there's already a small chance of getting a gift early, with that chance possibly increasing as your affection grows. And honestly, I love this feature because most of the gifts they give you are liked gifts. So it can actually help you get closer to them without having to do all the gift hunting yourself. My favorite gift so far is still Aurelius's. I've personally received 1,000 coins multiple times, and that's not small, especially early on. Once you reach 2 hearts, you can invite them to take a photo with you. And this one is just really cute, especially if you like keeping little memories of your time on the island or you want to commemorate a particular moment with a character. But the photo isn't just something you keep in your collection. You can take their picture and use it to craft a sugar painting with their likeness at the sugar painting stall. And I love that you can actually give the finished painting back to that character. It also ties into some of the activities under Star Note, where you can share your sugar paintings with other characters. So if you haven't tried that yet, it's worth doing. You'll get XP and some fun rewards along the way too. At 3 hearts, things start opening up a bit more. You can finally invite an islander on a date, and you get to choose both the activity and the location. Just keep in mind that some choices come with a little minigame. We'll get into those later. 3 hearts is also when you can start seeing their relationship stories, which work a bit like heart events in other farming and life sims. There's another reason I like reaching this milestone. You can visit their room. It's especially handy if you need to turn in a quest late at night, since this is where the islanders tend to stay. And there are chests with some fun rewards in their rooms, so whenever you reach 3 hearts with someone, I'd definitely make a point of visiting at least once. Oh, and befriending an islander can also give you a discount upgrade at their shop. So if there's a store you keep coming back to, becoming friends with the owner can actually save you some money over time. At 4 hearts, you unlock another way to interact with them through the bulletin board. You can post requests to specific islanders and have them bring you materials. It sounds useful, and it can save some time, although I personally found it a little hit or miss, because the materials you receive are random. The part I found more fun at 4 hearts is follow mode. You can ask an islander to come along with you, and they'll actually follow you around and react to certain activities. They can sit on benches, ride in vehicles, and generally just tag along while you go about your day. It's a small thing, but it makes them feel a little more present in your routine. Just keep in mind that follow mode can end automatically if too much time passes or you move too far away from them. And unfortunately, they won't join you in Moonlit Forest. Then at 5 hearts, you can invite an islander to move in with you. There is one exception mentioned here, Yu Fang. From my understanding, because he's a monk in training, he isn't able to move in with you. For the others, you may start seeing them cleaning your house or wandering around your farm. They don't give you any additional items from this though. It's more of a visual and lifestyle change. Your home just feels a little less empty. And honestly, I think that's the appeal. Reaching 5 hearts also continues the Islanders' relationship storyline, and these moments are usually paired with a romantic cutscene at the end. Building affection in Starsand Island is pretty simple once you know where to look. You can check your current affection level, along with how many points you need for the next level, right from the social tab. There are a few ways to build it. Talking to an Islander once a day gives 5 affection. Completing their community center bulletin board request gives 15 to 25. And finishing a side or main quest for them gives 50. Those quests are often tied to their profession too. Gifts are another easy way to build affection, but you don't have to overthink them at the start. Everyone has their own favorite, liked, neutral, disliked, and hated gifts. The simple rule is just favorite is best, liked is still good, and neutral is better than nothing. And if you accidentally give someone something they dislike, don't worry. Disliked and hated gifts don't lower your affection. And if you're looking for something easy that you can give to almost everyone right from the beginning, pasture grass and celeste berry are great options. You can get both from day 1 and all the Islanders like them. The only exception is Graminova, who actually considers pasture grass a favorite gift. For the bachelors, there are a few easy options worth keeping in mind. Aurelis has Aurorite ore as a favorite, but you'll need to reach deeper into the moonlit forest to get it. So early on, pasture grass or celeste berry is much easier while you work toward accessing those ores. Delphin likes light blue hydrangeas and moonflowers. Both are fairly accessible early in the moonlit forest, and hydrangeas can also be found around the island. Graminova already loves pasture grass, but your own crops are also among his favorite gifts, which makes him pretty convenient if you're already farming. For Lauren, his favorites include ingots, but those can be valuable resources early on. A more practical option is flannel, which you can craft with a loom using wool. Sylvain has the same easy favorites as Delphin, light blue hydrangeas and moonflowers. While Yufeng's favorite gifts are bamboo items, which you can find going to the temple or around the panda house. And finally, Zephyria favors items from the moonlit forest. If you want one simple gift to remember, moonflowers are a good option. As for the bachelorettes, we have Alex. She's a little tricky because her favorite gift is diamond, and those aren't available until you reach deeper into the moonlit forest. So early on, I wouldn't worry about that. Just give her pasture grass or celeste berry while you work your way toward the diamond nodes. For Lunel, flannel is an easy favorite, similar to Lauren. You can make it at the loom using wool, so it's a nice option if you're already raising animals. Then there's Neona, who loves ores. And honestly, you can spare a copper ore for her pretty easily. You can find copper just outside Moonlit Forest, and if you want to stock up, breaking the copper nodes in the early areas of the forest will give you plenty. Pastel is even simpler. She loves feed, and rabbit feed is probably the easiest one to make. Just use pasture grass in the feeder. For Serena, her favorites include diamonds and sachets. Since diamonds take a bit more time to reach, I'd go with sachets instead. You can buy the recipe from the general store and craft them at the work table using fiber and hardwood. Solara is another one where you have a couple of options. She loves tiramisu and strawberry mousse, both of which you can buy from the Saluna Cafe Lodge. They can get a little expensive early on though, so there's nothing wrong with sticking to her liked gifts, pasture grass and celeste berry. Then we have Stella. Her favorite is the black tea macaron, which is actually one of the gifts she can give you herself. You can also buy it cheaply from Aureleaf Kitchen, or pick up the recipe there and make it yourself with egg, sugar, and flour. And finally, Zarin also likes ores, just like Neona. So if you're already doing some mining, you can keep a few extra ores around for her. You definitely don't need to memorize all of this. If you're just starting out, having a few easy gifts like pasture grass, celeste berry, flannel, or a couple of ores on hand can make building those relationships feel much less complicated. And if you've learned something useful so far, consider subscribing. I share practical tips for farming sims, life sims, and cozy RPGs like Starsand Island, especially the little things that can save you time. Once you reach around 3 hearts with an islander, the relationship starts opening up in a few different ways. This is where you get access to relationship stories, but you can also start actually dating the characters and spending more intentional time with them. So there's more happening at this stage than just watching your affection points go up. Relationship stories give you a little more insight into the characters and their lives. They're basically Starsand Island's version of heart events. Little storylines that let you spend meaningful moments with your favorite characters while learning more about who they are. You'll usually trigger them by reading their mail or visiting a location connected to that islander. The quests themselves are pretty simple, and they often end with a special cutscene that's honestly worth experiencing for the story alone. One thing I really appreciate is that there's no pressure to do them immediately. Unlike some farming sims, your affection isn't capped if you haven't completed the relationship story yet. You can keep building your relationship, come back to the quest whenever you're ready, and from my experience, even taking a day off in the middle of the quest line didn't cause any problems. So don't feel like you have to rush through every romance event the moment it appears. Then there's the actual dating feature, which also becomes available at around 3 hearts. Once you reach that point, you can invite an islander to hang out and spend some one-on-one time together. You can go on 1 date per week, with the limit resetting every Monday. Just keep in mind that dates aren't available when it's raining or snowing. There are 3 types of dates, and each one plays a little differently. You can have a picnic, do something fun together, or simply share a meal. After choosing the type, you'll also get to pick the location. For a picnic, you can choose between the lighthouse, flower corridor, or by the temple. You'll have a few preparations to complete, and doing them successfully can increase the affection you earn. If you want something a little more active, choose something fun together. You can play at the arcade, visit the music store, or go kite flying. Each one has its own minigame, and your score affects how much affection you receive. Or if you just want to slow things down, there's enjoy a meal together. You can choose the cafe, all-relief kitchen, or beach bar. It's mostly conversation, which can be a nice change of pace. From my experience, picnics tend to give the most affection when you complete all the preparations. But there's another little detail worth paying attention to. Choosing something that suits the islander you're with can also give you more affection, along with a small cutscene. So you don't always have to chase the activity with the highest points. Sometimes, picking what feels right for the character can be just as rewarding. I hope this guide saves you some time and lets you enjoy the romance without having to figure everything out the hard way. And if you want to get a little more out of your Starsand Island save, there are 2 videos waiting for you. The left one goes into ranching and why it can be such a good early game moneymaker. The right one covers the tips I wish I knew after playing for 50+ hours. And yep, those tips still work after the full 1.0 release.